Did you know your IRA, your retirement account, can actually buy real estate? That's right. You could actually invest, own, flip, wholesale, retail, new construction, and loan that money out inside of your retirement account. And in today's video, I've got Larry Pendleton, a certified public accountant, CPA, that's going to help us unpack how all this stuff works. And the icing on the cake on all this is it is tax free. Let's get into it. All right, class, it's Kris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. For those out there that have an IRA account, it is an individual retirement account. It is one of the tools of the wealthy to create massive amounts of wealth. It is a loophole that I learned, luckily, early in the game. So today I want to unpack how you can use this loophole to build some wealth for yourself, because I believe it is time for our community to take advantage of this great country's ownership laws. Larry, how you doing, my brother?
Appreciate it, brother. How you doing?
It is good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming over. Thanks, Larry. We do deals together. It's been such an honor to work with accountant. This dude has it all together. Very humble to work with. So I thank you for your all your business acumen as well.
Oh, grateful for the opportunity to add value to your show, and yeah, I've been following you for a while, so this is kind of a little bit surreal for me.
That's cool, man. Yeah, come on into the space, dog. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
That's why we're here. We for the people. All right, Larry, tell us about you just real quick, and then we're gonna get into this IRA thing.
Yep. Larry Pendleton, the investor CPA. I've been doing tax advisory, tax filing for around 2 decades now.
Good.
Our niche is real estate with my partner Terry Conyers, who's a Class A contractor, and our mission is to help people achieve financial freedom by building passive income and saving on taxes.
I appreciate you for doing that, Larry. Very few people have the heart that you have. You're a big dude, but when I hear you talk, you really have the passion and the empathy and the emotion for our community.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see people struggling, kind of the proverbial rat race per se, and just getting the building blocks in place of how to get out of that. And there's no instant gratification of it, but like you can slowly start to kind of change communities and change people and their families with the right information. Where
did that come from, Larry? For you, where did that empathetic heart come from in doing your business and your mission?
I say, growing up, just kind of helping like my dad with his business. And
what did he do? What'd your dad do?
He was an HVAC mechanic, so he had his own business. And
rolling.
Besides cursing his football team, he cursed taxes. So was kind of early in the game of just learning about accounting. I've always been like a numbers person, but then just kind of seeing the books and then getting to college. And okay, this is an issue for a lot of people across like all realms.
Yep.
And then coming back home, born and raised in Norfolk, so we had our we still have them, but public housing, and you kind of see people struggle in those situations where it's like, man, they're just not given the right information.
Disinformation.
Over and over again, and people not sure why. And it's like, okay, at some point, the real information has to be given to people, and they can do what they want with it at that point.
Got it. Okay. Well, you're blessing a lot of people. So let's start with the backstory. Why would somebody want to even have a retirement account, Larry?
Well, you always got to start planning for your future. At some point, you're not going to be able to work forever. But the aspect of paying your bills now and then having something to put aside, so you're in your whatever golden years, whatever it's called now. So you want to have something in place down the road, which is why the government IRS kind of incentivizes people to open their own individual retirement accounts or IRAs.
Okay.
And the kind of basis of it is you get a bit of a tax deduction by contributing to it. And obviously for 2025, the max being roughly $7,000.
Going up.
For maxing at that point. Typically it goes up, but the government wants people to kind of start funding for their own future and not just solely relying on their employer or just working all their lives.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's how it kind of came about.
Yeah, you think about any The reason why the tax code is so long is because it's just a bunch of incentives and perks for the government to get people to move a certain way, which is why really it was truly made for big business owners and investors. But along the way, hey, they want more children in the country, so it's a child tax credit. They want people to buy homes. There's a mortgage interest deduction. But obviously, you get into like the larger deductions and credits. You're looking at that into the investor, big business world from there. But it's kind of that slow evolvement along the way as you try and put that stuff into your life.
I got so blessed, Larry, to have a rich, I always say this rich white dude tell me about self-directed. I want to preface this too. What we're talking about, Larry, just break it down, because some people think you can buy real estate just with your traditional IRA. Just tell everybody what we're talking about here.
Right. So you have basically like your normal IRA accounts.
Let's start there.
Where you go to Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, one of the big names that's on TV, and you can open up a retirement account and start contributing that way.
Contributing. I'm gonna make sure we get that word right. Contributions.
Yeah, contributing to your IRA account there, and let's say we talk about the $7,000 max, and getting a bit of a tax deduction there. But with those companies, they typically are making their money off of stocks and bonds. They get a commission off of the stocks that they put your funds into. They're investing your funds into the stock market.
Okay. So they're the asset manager.
Basically, asset manager, custodian. of your money at that point.
That's the traditional IRA.
Yes. Well, I would say your normal. You got traditional, which it is a tax deduction. Then you have Roth. So you have, I think there's two separate discussions of traditional versus Roth.
Let's start there.
So traditional IRAs, you contribute, you get a tax deduction, it grows tax free. But when you retire, the money and you have to start taking distributions out, you're taxed on the back end.
So you're taxed when you take the money out.
Yes, that's your traditional.
Traditional. Okay.
Now your
Say
Roth.
it one more time so I can get it.
So traditional IRAs, you contribute your money.
That's tax money though, right? You already pay taxes on it when you're putting it in.
Yes. So you haven't been taxed on that money. But you get a tax deduction for contributing that money in.
Oh, okay. You get a deduction for putting it in.
Yes.
Got it.
So now, but then it grows tax free in the account. But then once you start taking distributions in your retirement years or whatever possibly qualifies, then you're actually taxed on the back end.
Darn. Okay. That's traditional.
Now in your Roth IRA, you can contribute the same amount, but you get no tax deduction. It grows tax free, similar to a traditional, but on the back end, you're not taxed.
Got it.
So truly the goal is to have more money in a Roth because you have that back end benefit, but you don't get that initial tax benefit up front with the tax deduction.
Well, Larry, for me, and we're going to keep going for me, my mentor used to always say, Kris, do you want to pay taxes on the seed or the crop? What is your opinion on that?
Well,
because for me, if I'm putting in X, Y, Z, that's going to be smaller than what the account is going to grow to. What's my mindset? But you're the CPA.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to be taxed on the seed and not the growth, but you initially are going to. Most people are always looking in the sense of, well, I'm gonna get the deduction now by contributing now, and then I'll just deal with the taxes along the way. And people don't really have a plan when it comes to that. So, and that's when you get into
blunt, Larry, be blunt, man.
Yeah, so when you just get a conversion of, so along the way we get into the weeds now of like how do you get your traditional into a Roth? But you can do conversions. But it is taxable along the way. So it's like, how do you properly time that? And that's where like having a tax plan, tax strategy, like, okay, how much money can I convert from traditional to Roth throughout the time so that I can have my cake now and then just slowly get hit with taxes along the way instead of getting hit on the back end because I just try to get as much benefit as I can now.
For the deduction.
Yes.
Y'all, hope y'all paying attention to Larry on this stuff. And you won't get this overnight. You might have to watch this a few times because it took me many times to understand in, out, growth, contribution, all this stuff. So Larry, you dropping some stuff. All right, so 2 different accounts. Go ahead.
Traditional Roth. Now, with both of those, now we get into the conversation of how do you invest out of those accounts. So then you have self-directing, you have non-self-directing accounts. Now, if you're going to go with Fidelity, Merlin's, I keep naming the same companies, but we all know
They're the biggest names.
The biggest names. Like, they have no incentive really for you to self-direct out of your account. And self-directing basically means that you are telling your custodian what you want to invest in, even outside of stocks and bonds. So really, it's called alternative investments.
Alternative investments?
Yes.
Excuse me for laughing, Larry, because I have had so many conversations with people, and they want me to, when I tell them self-directed, they are the asset manager, and they don't even comprehend the fact that they have to actually make their own picks, whatever that pick is.
Yes. That you are responsible for that, and because the big boys don't really have an incentive because they're not getting paid off of your investment, so they'll just not have you self-direct at all. Now they'll say you can invest in real estate, but it's through REITs, or real estate investment trusts.
We ain't getting into that.
Which is like I say, it's a whole whole nother thing, but it's not you really like making money off of like real estate. You're still investing in some type of public company, and they're making an incentive off of that. So true self-directing is like, hey, you go with a whole separate company, ABC custodian, lend my money to Kris Haskins to do his flip project. Here's the terms of the agreement, and all that will be going back into the account. Like, that's true self-directing. So you're still going to be somewhat involved with the due diligence of it and assessing who you're working with.
Somewhat.
Yeah, you're not going to be completely hands off. Now, you may not get your hands dirty, but you're mentally going to be involved. And depending who your custodian is, like, they may do some back checks on their end as well, because like I say, they're making a fee off your money that you're paying them, as well as the account that they're sitting in. So once you kind of understand that piece of it, that's what the true self-directing is. It's okay, I can control it. I may not be able to benefit now because I can't make money myself off of it, but I can let my retirement account grow. So now you're in control of what's growing your retirement account.
Let's come back to that piece regarding how the money grows. Self-directed. I want to make sure everybody understands. So you could be a non-self-directed Roth or self-directed Roth.
Yes.
I didn't even know that. What does a non-self-directed Roth look like, Larry?
That's basically your major custodians that's only allowing you to invest in the stock portfolios that they have.
Whatever it is that they do, you pick what they have, or do they say this is what we're doing?
You can pick. You can basically pick what they have, but it's still just stocks and bonds. But you can't say, hey, well, lend my money to that person over there for their business. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not going to allow that because that's not part of what the service that they're providing.
Yeah.
So it's just really understanding like which custodians that you're working with, and what type of investing that they're allowing you to do out of your retirement account. Okay.
So when people sign up, Larry, for a Roth IRA, why would they even do? What is the advantages of having a non-self-directed Roth? I don't even know.
I mean, you think about it, they spend a lot of money on marketing.
Why not do a regular traditional IRA then?
Well, most people go traditional because they want the tax benefit now.
Yeah.
So, but they're not really going to know about self-directing because that's not highly advertised.
They don't publicize that.
Like the custodians that provide that service, there's really no commercials out there for it. Mm-hmm. So unless you're in certain investment groups, like, you may never heard of self-directing because that's not a widely known concept, unfortunately.
I know it's not widely known. Thank God I was introduced to it. Being an accountant, is it commonly practiced for any of your clients or any of the people that you serve, being self-directed?
Well, the way we built our business now, majority of our clients who have retirement accounts, most of them have self-directing retirement accounts. Some still may have non-self-directing from like old accounts that they have, but majority of them are self-directing to have their retirement accounts.
Wow, that is so cool. So give us a typical play on somebody that wants to do a self-directed deal.
Yeah, so you really have to understand your role in it. The goal is to grow your retirement account.
That's the one goal.
Now, you can try to put some money in your pocket, but just be mindful of you can't actively run that business out of your retirement. So if it's a flipping business, you can't run an active. You can run an active flipping business out of it, but you're just taxed at a higher rate. Because like most companies, people who have startup companies like don't have just like money sitting there like people do with their retirement accounts. Like your goal is to be a passive investor into it, so you can lend to somebody else's flipping business. Typically, you can't go if you're talking about family. You can't go like vertical, like mom and dad and your own kids,
which
like,
makes no sense to me.
You can lend to siblings and cousins.
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't think that makes no sense.
So, because you have what's called so there's certain restricted transactions, and dealing with certain family members is restricted, or any type of activities there. So, and there's a tax issues with it. There's a penalties that's involved with it, and you can just have your whole retirement account just completely wiped out, and they tax you on everything that's in there if it's not done properly. Mm-hmm. So it's really letting people know is like you're using these retirement funds now not to like really grow a business out of it, but really to kind of passively invest from it there.
Got it. Now,
if you're lending to someone and you borrow money from your retirement account, now you may have to pay back some interest to put back into the retirement account. But you may be negotiating, let's just say you do whatever, 2 points and 12%. Mm-hmm. All right, those 2 points may be money that you have that's your money, but everything else goes back into the retirement account to make sure it's replenished, and any interest that you took is paid off as well. So that's the way you can make some money that would be taxable, but you're not hit with the tax within your retirement account.
Got it. So I want to tell me a typical deal. Is it anything that comes top of mind? Or say I'm just Miss Joe going to work every day and I have a retirement account and I want to self-direct it, because most people I meet don't have they have a traditional. What would be an option for them, Larry, if they don't quite understand business or real estate and they don't quite know how ins and outs of flipping money works?
Right. So the top three I've seen is real estate syndications, mostly in the apartment building space, where you have a general partner or operator that's raising money from various investors, and then you have investors that's passively involved. They're called limited partners, and now you're letting this person take the money, acquire the property, get it fixed up, and get it cash flowing again.
Okay.
And then your retirement account is then collecting distributions from the rents, the rents that property is generating.
So they're in there with a bunch of people.
Yeah, typically is pretty much a way to like raise money from an equity standpoint on the general partner side.
Syndications. We can't break all that down. I mean, that is a lot to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's a whole bunch of partners getting together, combining resources to take down the asset.
Got it. Okay,
that's
cool.
really kind of the simplest way I can really put it at that point.
Okay, cool.
And then you got people who are active in it, and those are your general partners, and you got people that are not active or passive, and those are your limited partners.
LPs.
All your LPs are typically are going to be, a lot of those are using their self-directed funds from their retirement accounts to get into the deal.
Okay, cool.
So that's one of the most popular ways I've seen retirement accounts being used, where it's like, hey, you're a small fish in a big pond, but you're involved. Like they're giving you good returns and all that, and grow your retirement account from that perspective.
Got it.
I've seen people use their retirement accounts to lend money for someone else's business, whether it's flipping in real estate or starting a taco stand, whatever. But you're just passively involved in lending funds out of your retirement account to somebody else. At that point. And then the aspect of actually using, if you have enough funds in your retirement account to actually buy like rental real estate, because in the grand scheme of things, rental real estate is considered passive in the IRS.
We'll put a quote on that.
Yes, for those who own real estate, there's nothing passive about it.
Please don't think this is passive.
Yeah, but in the IRS, and we're talking about like in the 70s and 80s where you had a bunch of doctors like buying up rental properties and not doing anything with them, and they use all these losses to offset their high income.
Yeah.
So a lot more regulations were put in place then to help offset that now, which is why rental real estate is considered passive. But still be able to actually buy the asset within your retirement account. Your retirement account owns the rental property.
Yes.
Now, part of the restrictions that you can't manage it. Like you're outsourcing all of that stuff. Like, so you're not involved because your active involvement now makes it active, and now you're getting taxed and putting your retirement account at risk. So it's just really understanding the rules and regulations in place so that you can, like I said, goals to grow your retirement account along the way. Now you still want to have some other stuff that's bringing you money and tax savings now, but you have that option on your side as well.
Syndications, loan money for a business or real estate business, or purchase income producing asset, whatever that may be, a house, multifamily.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That sounds interesting, Larry. I want us to unpack the level of expertise that one might need to have on having a self-directed. Do you need expertise, Larry? Or which one would you recommend? I'm trying to figure out where we come from. Everybody has self-directed Roths. I want to talk to the masses though. Why would they go from traditional when they're doing okay to a self-directed where they got to be the one calling the shots?
Well, at some point, even with your normal retirement accounts, the custodian is still giving you the options of which stocks you want. You still are somewhat involved, but so even in the aspect of doing self-directing, you're just vetting who operating the business. So whether you're analyzing the stocks and trusting that that's going to operate well and provide return, you're doing the exact same thing for the individual, the group, of the company that you're vetting, that you're going to loan your retirement funds to. So it's still that aspect of that. Plus, the way the world is now, like, we can't just be set and forget it. Like, we need to be more involved with it there, and even though you may not be getting your hands dirty, it's like you're taking ownership, because if the stock drops and like you have no control over that, even though you may have done all the assessment, and there's always going to be risk on the real estate side as well. Yep. But at least with that, you may have some actual like tangible assets associated with it. So you're not just flying, like you're just not at the full whim. Okay, at least I got something to walk away with if I have to foreclose on that loan. Yep. Or from a lawsuit standpoint, or whatever. So you always want to make sure you're protected, and that's where like getting to alternative investments separate from stocks and bonds gives people that option, a little more security, even though it does require you to be a little more involved than just giving your money to a custodian and let them put it into whatever stocks and bonds that you want to get into.
Does that work out for people, Larry? I have never done it.
I mean, the stocks or the
traditional. I just never had like here's 100,000 financial guy go and a Fidelity or Schwab or any. I just never. All my stuff has been self-directed since the beginning of my career.
Right. I mean, people have seen success with it, but in that realm, you just gotta understand that world's like there's always peaks and valleys when you're talking about in the stock world. So I've seen people with a lot of success, but they also see them drop in but they know this, you have to ride that wave per se. So it's like, okay, well, you gonna stick with that stock or you gonna sell it off and just take your losses. But most of them just kind of stick with it and end up just kind of being averaging 7-8% return, maybe 6%, which like I said, it was not bad when you're completely passive like that, but you just gotta have the stomach for it from the long-term perspective.
Yeah, because it's not 7% every year. I mean,
no, it's not. It's
not. It could be years that it's.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're taking
I'm just trying to
like an
understand.
average. Yeah, we're talking about the average of how long you actually have it.
Okay.
So like you're not going to see the type of return, like you may be in the negative in certain years.
All right.
But you gotta have the mindset of it, which is why people that aren't actively involved in overseeing it, they don't even look at it because they know they don't have the stomach for it.
Yes, that can be emotional.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, Larry, we're not giving any expert advice today. I know you have to be real.
All informational purposes here. So
Yeah,
I tell
please.
people whatever I say when I speak in front of groups, like
I don't know nothing.
do your own due diligence, talk with your own advisor, vet everything I say to what you can look up and what other people and people that in your circle can verify at that point.
Yeah, please, y'all. This is not advice. This is just, I'm just telling y'all what we do. Like, this is what we. Larry, some might say, if I can only contribute 6,000 to 7,000, how could I build real wealth with a self-directed? It doesn't click for me. Unpack that.
Part of it is our schooling system. And I know I'm going to go a bit left field with that because it always goes to that mindset. You got to do it all yourself, which that's not how the world really works. Like, so if you're only looking at it in the sense of what you can do, then it's like you have to really change your circle. Because all the deals I've done have been with other people. Like whether they doing the work or I'm bringing the capital or I'm doing the work and they bringing the capital, like, or multiple people bringing in capital, like it's all about collaborating with the right people. And if you're not around the right people that you feel comfortable collaborating with, then you need to really change the group that you're with if you're really trying to grow your wealth and step into different arena. So it's like, so maybe you maybe can't do it by yourself now, but hey, maybe you can partner with this person here and you get X percentage of the deal going into your retirement account there, and you slowly kind of build up along the way and put an actual plan together instead of just, woe is me, I only got 6,000 here and I can't do anything. But we all know you can actually get into some good wholesale deals. Like,
let's talk about that.
From the aspect there, it's like, okay, can you provide the lending for whatever closing costs?
Earns money.
Like just small stuff like that, where it's like once you understand the whole deal itself, and then you identify like where you can be of value at. That closing cost to actually get the deal to closing, because the person who's actually buying it don't have the closing. All right, you have enough money in there to put in $5,000-$6,000 and then get paid out once the deal is done.
Larry, we have done, I can't tell you, we have wholesaled real estate in our IRA, had the earnest money deposit come out of the IRA and have the assignment fee go back in. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so in the same sense where like the IRA is lending out the funds to the borrower for the closing there, and then once everything is settled with the true major lender, because you're really your IRA is such as a small lender in it, so you're the big lender is then funding everything back. You have your terms, whatever that was, 10%, whatever it be. All right, that 10% plus that initial funding goes back into the retirement account. So that's the quote unquote assignment fee there. But because you just like lent the money out, you lent the fee out and you lent the money out, so now it's still considered passive, so you're not being taxed in your retirement account. Now, if any of the assignment fee went into your pocket, because you already had the retirement account covered, like that piece is then taxed.
That's gonna be taxable
on to you personally there. But once again, the goal was to get the retirement account, you got a few dollars in your pocket. Now you can kind of go on to the next thing from there.
Tell me about the mindset of people trying to comprehend the money that comes back into the IRA. They can't spend it now. So for me, like I've wholesaled so many deals inside of my IRA. It would fund money building, and I would be telling people, look, man, this is what I'm doing. They didn't like it. They didn't think that was a smart move for me, because all the money was going into the retirement account. I wasn't able to touch any of it. So can you unpack or just help my roundup homies understand that the money is, I needed to have it locked up, Larry. Like I needed to have an entity where I couldn't touch it. It was like it was like a tool for me to say, look, man, this is one of the tools. You can't open this door unless it's going, I can't use it for me. I can only use it for investing.
Right. So people have to really understand is that you have this stockpile of cash over here for a particular reason, and the IRS wants people to use it for a particular reason, which is to fund your retirement. Now you have the access to get into more deals and get more exposure if you unlock the funds out a certain way, but the money does have to go back. Now you may not have the money. Like I'm not sure why people tell you it's not a good idea. If they're saying like, well,
they want to access that.
If you want access to the money and to spend it, then okay, yeah, you can do that. But
you gotta pay on
basically, you're talking about at least 40%, including penalties, like tax and penalties, that's going to be charged with it. Like if that's what you plan, that's what your plan is, then that's what you're going to get at that point. So it's like it's regulated for that because the government knows that people just will spend it and not replenish it like they're supposed to. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing it right, and that's where you may have to have other funds built up for deals that you want to do, but you can actually keep the money yourself. So it's like, okay, you slowly build this up, and then you as well getting the deals with your retirement accounts. You may end up pocketing some of the money from the sense of an assignment fee aspect of it, and you slowly build that up. And it's not going to be as much as it is over here, but it's part of a bigger plan to not get hit with a whole bunch of taxes, grow your retirement account, and get more exposure in the real estate space. Because sometimes just getting more exposure would get more deals sent your way.
That's right.
And now you can build quicker at that point.
Well, Larry, I had to just beat these philosophies in my head. I'll never forget back when I was first doing this in 2004. My mentor, Lonnie Scruggs, said, Kris, do you think your money will grow faster with taxes or without taxes? And it seems elementary to me now, but I'm like, will it grow? Which one will it grow faster? When I'm paying taxes or not paying taxes? I think we have to start there.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think our community, they're like, when I tell them, I'm like, you can't spend the money on yourself. They're like, I don't know if I want to do that. Can't spend it till I'm 59 and a half or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, it's, especially like say, if you're talking about a lot of people in our community are constant in the stage of like struggle and just trying to survive.
Yeah.
So they're looking for any type of relief to get more money coming into their pockets. Now, sooner rather than later. So it's against the grain, it's against that instant gratification, but it's like these are the building blocks that's in place. It's very unfortunate that a lot of us kind of been put behind the eight ball, but we're just gonna put ourselves further behind the eight ball if we aren't taking care of ourselves in that perspective and putting money into retirement accounts and then growing it that way. Or just kind of get into the right deals, even if you don't use your retirement account, and grow your money that way as well. But either way, even if you don't use the money out of your retirement account, you still got to reinvest back into your company.
You got to reinvest
in order to keep continuing to grow. If you constantly spend the growth, you're just going to be stagnant.
That's you said a mouthful. You got to do it, Larry. I'm gonna tell you, the first 2000 when I opened up my IRA back in 2005, it was painful. I put $2,000 in. I started it with that. And it was like putting money out in the universe. Mm-hmm. I mean, I luckily I had someone telling me that was a smart move. I had one guy to tell me. I'm like, is this right? Should I do this? Do you think people have the resistance like that still today?
It depends who they're in their circle is. If no one else in their circle, like I say, it only takes one. But if you didn't have that one, and fortunately that one was a very successful person, it would have been very, very hard for you to do that. It was still
hard. It was hard, even though I know he was a multi-millionaire.
But imagine how much harder it would have been if he wasn't there. If he just would have said it and then walked off and then never really kind of stayed on you regarding that. And that's what a lot of us are missing, is like someone that kind of like that accountability, especially if you're in that sense of you're in survival mode. It was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put $2,000 over here for, well, I got these bills over here to pay, or I deserve vacation or whatever electronic that's out now. So it's really about kind of getting into the right circles and having the right people around you to hold yourself accountable to commit to stuff like that.
Yeah, would you say we need to spend money to be around the right people sometimes?
Definitely. Like I said, I don't know how much money I spend a year and just going to different events, traveling, because I mean, try to get seeing stuff in state, but sometimes you gotta go different states to kind of get in different circles. And like, okay, that's how they're doing it. Okay, let me bring it back home and see if I can apply that concept there. Like I said, met with a group of people out in Dallas, and they're doing a lot of those tiny homes in Arizona, and they're able to do those with 2 bedrooms, one bath. And okay, there's nothing really like that here. I know people like get into the accessory dwelling units, but just to kind of learn a different way, was okay, who does that household fit? Talking about people who's looking to downsize, retirees, startup families where people having a tough time affording to buy a home, and they can just maybe their start to kind of build up from there.
Interesting stuff, man. I think we talked about that many months ago. Well, Larry, we've gone over what I wanted to go over regarding this IRA thing. I believe I got to tell you, my wife saw me do real estate for many years. She had a traditional. She converted hers over many years after we were married. She wanted to make sure your boy was going to be around. So thank you, Princess, for believing in me. So now she invests with me with her IRA too. So I had to prove myself. But what would you give for people that are on the fence? And you know what? This isn't for everybody. Self-directing isn't necessarily for everybody.
Right. If you're not comfortable investing in anything outside of stocks and bonds, or you don't have the people around you, and you think the money just going to sit there, and
because it's fees, I'm paying thousands of dollars a year.
Because there's fees involved. So like you're in this constant like, okay, am I making the right decisions, and am I getting the right return on my investment, which includes accounting for these fees that you're paying a year. So like I say, there's nothing to rush into if you don't feel like you have the right knowledge and circles in place. So like take the time to like, hey, what can I actually do with this money in here once I start going down this path? Because the fees are higher than your Merrill Lynch, your Fidelities, but like I say, the additional fees give you that additional control to invest your money the way you want to invest it.
And from my perspective, the more money you have and the fees go up. That's just from my account. But Larry, let's talk about the fees. I felt like when I started mine, and I hope this can help somebody, I felt like those fees would push me to take action. It was almost like the Grim Reaper coming around every year, whacking me, like whack. I'm like, if I don't take this action with that first $2,000, then my account's gonna be at zero. So it almost forced me, Larry. What would you say to that?
That's a good. Sometimes you need the carrot and the stick. Sometimes the stick definitely works. There, so yeah, like just sitting there,
they're gonna wipe out.
Just wiping out. I almost feel similar to how people like treat LLCs. Like they open up an LLC, but they don't really do anything.
They pay the yearly.
So just moving, just converting your account to a self-directing isn't going to do anything.
Nope.
And it had this additional stick at the end with the fees if you're not doing anything with it. So it's like that's why you should really understand like what is your game plan going forward. You may not have anything ready right away. Was okay, we need to start getting stuff moved over, but you got into the right space where it's like, okay, once it's moved over, people are gonna start sending me stuff, or people are already sending me stuff. I just gotta get all the paperwork done. So it's just kind of having that initiative and that structure to get moving.
Sounds like for me, I had people in place already that were doing stuff and already doing deals. So I was kind of coming in on that, riding that wave. And Larry, I'm telling you, my fees for my account, I'll be completely transparent. I'm paying $2,000 a year just to have my account.
Yeah.
Just to have, so in 10 years, I'm $20,000 out. You know, I mean, obviously it adds up over time. But for me, it really pushes me to get this money working.
Yeah. Good initiative to have.
It's not for everybody, y'all. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I do have people calling me like, I got these fees. I don't want to pay these fees. Well, you got to do a deal.
Well, it's for everybody depending on which spectrum that you're in. Even if you don't have it, at least you have the knowledge to at least communicate that to others that do have it.
That's a good point.
So if you have the deals and you're looking for the capital, what they're saying is about in the trillions of dollars that's sitting in retirement accounts.
Trillions of dollars.
That's not really being not being used, but it's like that when people say the money's not out there, the money is out there. You just got to have the knowledge and know where to go to find it. So even if you're not doing it yourself, the opportunities to get your deals off the ground can go a long way if you can find the people who do have it and are looking for opportunities to grow their account that way.
Can we stay there for a minute, Larry? Because most people think all I need is the money. If I just had the money, then I could do more deals. And I have learned from doing real estate since 2004, become a savvy borrower, then the money will show up. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, in the sense of savvy borrower would just be, can you present a deal that somebody will want to lend to at that point? Like, and I'm not talking about when we talking about banks and like being bankable and having bank statements and financial in place like that's one aspect of it. But the aspect of working with asset lenders, and there's institutions that do that, but primarily we talking about private lending per se. Whereas like, okay, one, is your deal, is there capital protected?
Does it make sense?
Does it make sense? Is there capital protected?
We call that security.
What's their return, like what's their potential return on their investment that's going to ensure that you're still making money as well?
That's
and
right.
Once you got those basic three things, does that make sense? Does it make sense? Is their money secure and they got a good return on their investment?
Security.
And then there's really having those conversations. So that's how you really being a savvy borrower per se is really getting to know what your potential lender is really looking for at that point.
Well, do you find that most people don't know how to become a savvy borrower? Usually people come to me, they don't want to give me any securities. I don't even like the security. It's high value. I mean, it's high loan to value, not a lot of equity. And they want me to fund everything. There's usually the people that I run into. Tell me about the people that you deal with.
Yeah, because
they want me to pay for.
There's so many people that kind of promise like 100% financing on everything, but like that is a lot of marketing for that, especially in the hard money space. But like there's a lot of stipulations that come with that, and some high interest rates that come with it as well. Like I say, it is best at times to get some skin in the game yourself, and that may involve having to partner with someone who can at least take down the whatever down payment that's needed to acquire the deal or whatever points that the lender is really requiring at that point. There may or may not be personal guarantees. It all depends on who you're working with at that time. So. Yeah, it's just really understanding of nothing in the world is free. Like there's like you have to give up something. Like I say, you may not get the huge paycheck, but overall, especially you put no money in the deal, you brought some money that did put money to get to a bigger lender. Mm-hmm. All right, you just made infinite return on your investment,
no matter what.
Even though you had to put a lot of work in, but that was what you had to give up. So I think people just really need to understand that when trying to build relationships, like if people just think you're just in it and not doing anything, just making money, you're gonna turn off a lot of people.
Yeah, man. I hope that you are getting that word out too, because I try to tell my people, why would I finance your hopes, dreams, and aspirations for your future to make you rich? I'm taking all the risk, putting up all the money. Why would I do that? And it's like. I think like they're not even getting it.
Yeah. At some point, it's like I don't even know what to really tell them at that point. Like I really don't.
Why I gotta put money up? The game is other people's money. That's what they think. Other people's money.
Yeah, the OPM. Once again, a good hook line, but there's some there's some back end stuff that you got to take into consideration. Even people that do the like, because I've been part of 3 real estate syndications and apartments. One here, one in Georgia, and one in Florida. But even though, like I said, I didn't put up any money for it, I tell people, like, I did a lot of work for 2 years before I saw a dime. But that was the goal. Like, okay, cool. Like, we got all these limited partners. We're making sure the financials are all straight. Typically, that's the service that I'm charging for, and it's like, okay, but I got percentage into this deal, but I knew that the payouts were going to start happening after 2 years. And I had to make the choice, like, is that really worth my time and effort? And I believe it was. Whereas, okay, great. Like, on one of them, like, we're getting $8,000 to $10,000 a year for about 12 hours of work.
Sweet.
But those first couple of years, it was a lot more time put in. But that was the sacrifice. You guys sacrifice something, and then you guys see, like, does people value that sacrifice?
And you do have a road behind you. Larry. It's not like you just started yesterday. I mean, you can go back and say, okay, guy did this. All right, cool. We can check that. You know, you got track record.
Yeah, you gotta have that as well. And sometimes you just gotta. And at a point, I didn't have the track record. So I still had to, like, kind of come in and, like, put myself in situations where, okay, cool, I'll take these lumps. May not get paid, but at least I got the experience. And then I can kind of go back and tell people, like, here's what I bring to the table. I've seen that and see how it does and does not work.
Okay, that's all I got then, Larry. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
You want to leave him with anything else, brother Larry?
No, like I said, just, like, don't shy away from the IRAs. Like I say, if you're in position to open one up, and it doesn't have to be the whole $7,000 per year, like a few hundred,
which is not a lot. I mean, I don't want to be. That's not even a lot, dog. I mean, that's in the grand scheme of doing business. Don't let that scare you.
Yeah. And especially the aspect of, you can break it out. Like, it doesn't have to be one lump sum.
Yes,
where, like, you can slowly start to kind of, like, put money in along the way, and see that growth and benefit. And as we mentioned before, even if you're not doing it, it's educating yourself to really talk to your potential private lenders about it, so that now you have access to capital along. You can make the deal make sense for them. So I'll kind of leave people with that. Cool.
Okay, class, I need you to share this information. Self-directed Roth 401k or IRA. They're 2 different vehicles. I'm not an expert on the vehicles themselves.
Your 401k is really from your employer, or if you're actually running a business and you sell the solo 401k.
I know.
We can do a whole nother video now.
The checkbook. They actually give you a checkbook. You can write checks on it. The custodian will give you a checkbook. But this training today, I just wanted to kind of open you up to different ideas, different perspectives, because I meet a ton of people that's got these IRAs locked up from a previous employer. I'm like, what are we doing here, y'all? What are we doing? Let's get this. And it helps you understand collective financing. I did not start to blow up, y'all, until I started working with strategic partners. Okay, I tried to do it all myself for the first 10 years of my career. It was cool, but when I started, like, as Larry said, working with partners and joint ventures and doing different strategic things, that's when you start to go real fast. Exactly, real fast. All right, like the content, share. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.